Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Feedback Friday for Friday, May 26th already.
Good God.
Memorial Weekend.
Episode number 82. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero and our hostess with the mostest for this program, Linda Kay. Linda, how you feeling? How you doing?
I'm doing a lot better now that I'm warm, warmed up.
You know, I can't believe that he locked us out yesterday on primetime and tried to do that stupid, ridiculous, painfully horrible David Hero show. Even the name of it makes me cringe. It's just so gross. But while we were outside waiting to get in, and thank you finally to who let us in, and I won't reveal the name because he'll try to get them removed, but we talked about your investigation into the Vegas situation, your probe, if you will, into David's trip to Las Vegas, where he spent $27,000. And I understand you've gotten your hands on some documents that are now beginning to reveal some of the things he purchased. Mm-hmm. And
there's receipts for everything. I keep telling you that.
What's your biggest find so far, if you care to reveal it? What have you found that has been most troubling to you as the special investigator
of no gag order on
your trip to Vegas?
This should be not talked about on TV.
Well, you know...
Well, we got to put it somewhere. Where else should it be talked about?
They don't need to know what's going on here.
They do need to know what's going on here. The world needs to know what's going on. The American people deserve to know where their money's going.
When did you decide to be about transparency all of a sudden?
About 8 years ago.
You know how Mr. Hero went to that one zoo? That place that has cheetahs?
The crazy zoo. Oh, the cheetah.
Yeah, that one place.
He was in the clubhouse, yes.
So, of that $27,000...
You know, you can't comment on this. You really shouldn't.
You know how much...
There's a receipt for everything. You've got nothing to hide. What's the big deal?
But she's not here legally. Okay?
You forgot your red hat. What do you mean she's not here legally?
I want to see a birth certificate.
She's hired. She's contracted.
I want to see a birth
she
certificate.
is a legal citizen of the United States. How dare you say just because she may be of different ethnicity that she is... Am I here illegally as well?
Ethnicity.
Am I here illegally?
May I need...
Why would she be here illegally?
What if I need some documentation about you?
Oh, I have everything. I have receipts.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a birth certificate?
Of course I do. 2 of them.
My goodness. Yes, so of that $27,000, $20,000 of it was just in one spot at the zoo.
Are you kidding me?
Something...
You spent $20,000 at the zoo?
They had a gift shop.
There's a separate back room?
Wait a minute.
At the zoo that I heard about?
It was for photo ops. You can wear costumes and stuff. It's a role play thing.
The description on the receipt was a little questionable. It mentioned something about Empire something or champagne something. I gotta get this figured out. They have alcohol at a zoo.
The more and more I think about this, when we saw that footage, let's look at it again, actually. That footage of you leaving... Now that I look at it, that sign, the background, nothing about it looked like a zoo to me.
Oh,
it looked like some kind of nightclub or something. Were you?
We left in the evening.
Can you look into whether or not there's actually a zoo in Las Vegas? And specifically, if that zoo is called Cheetah? And specifically, if you could also...
I was at the Cheetahs exhibit of the zoo in Las Vegas.
And if you could check with the staff there to see if they've tried to...
They are a beautiful, exotic, fast animal.
Damien,
I will
look into this
even
more.
And can you also find out if they've documented any of their conversations that they've had with him since, as it relates to this investigation?
There better not be.
There could be memos, there could be documents, there could be notes. $20,000 in one night.
It was pretty cool. But there's receipts for everything.
Folks, It's Feedback Friday. It's Linda's show.
No, it's not. They don't send emails to her.
Nah, she got them. How'd she have them on her little sheet here?
Because someone prints it up and hands it to her.
Well, senior intern Cal used to do that.
Yeah, he does.
But I've had to relieve him of his duties for the show.
Because he didn't like the way his father was being treated here.
No, he didn't like the way the host was being treated, actually.
Yeah, exactly, how his father was being treated.
Linda, take it away.
Okay.
No, I'm going to take him away.
Don't I wish.
Yeah,
Our first comment comes from Charles Stevens III, who says, David Hero, how would you book Rowan's a session? You said that he needs it, which would be nice to see someone different. Do you think he needs to lose the sheep's mask or his current ring attire?
No, keep the sheep mask because that's a gimmick they can sell. Kids will buy it. I mean, Nelson used to have one.
I own one.
Yeah. But yours was the black sheep mask.
No, it wasn't.
Which one was it?
It was the white sheep mask.
Oh, shocking.
It's also a new mask now.
But Eric Rowan has
Version 1.
size. He has an odd charisma, and he could be similar to a Braun Strowman. Just go in there and start beating people up. But he should have beaten Luke Harper at the pay-per-view. There's no doubt.
They had a good match, by the way.
They did. They had a very good match. It's two guys that went in there and beat each other up. Luke Harper looks to be in fantastic shape. I think he's on the same diet as Jinder Mahal. He looks shredded. He looks great. But Eric Rowan is more than just a job guy right now. And unfortunately, he's stuck, and they need to build up that character because they don't have any. Besides Baron Corbin, there's no big monsters on the SmackDown brand. Am I right? There are none.
No, you're not right. You would be accurate in your assessment, but you're never right.
You know, people say you're kind of condescending.
I'm kind of condescending.
That means talking down to people.
Oh.
Yeah.
I deal in facts. I deal in black and white. I
Speaking
deal
of
in right or
yourself.
wrong. I deal in yes or no. I don't have time for bull stuff.
Okay.
Or a ridiculous
Again, it's
ass
all about color
phone that
with
takes
you.
up half the shot.
This is fantastic. I mean,
There's nothing.
it's
Alpha's
free
a
long
great show.
distance.
No one pays for long distance anymore, David.
Really?
If you do, you may want to check with your provider.
No, I don't. It's on the company card.
Again, you have
And in Vegas.
zero
I mean,
access to that card. So if you think you're paying anything on it, you may want to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Well, I don't know whose
because-
card it is.
But
Yeah,
it's
you
in
might
long
also wanna
distance
check-
charges
maybe you
on
found that at the
Vegas
zoo as well.
seat.
Maybe it was sitting on a bench after somebody else was sitting there. You picked it up, got a little confused.
I may
Could have
have.
been at night. It appears so from that video we saw earlier that it was dark out.
There are a lot of lights. Black lights, but
Okay, let's go to our next comment, which comes from Thunder Knight 19, who says, when I look at the NXT talents that have failed on the main roster, for the most part, it has been the homegrown talents who have failed, while the ones who started on the independent scene have succeeded.
that's what I've been saying for months.
You said it once last week.
I don't always talk about it on the show. It could be on
You know, a lot of
Twitter
people say you embellish. You know what embellish means, Linda? Lie.
Again, see how condescending he is?
Oh.
He has to explain
Simply
everything
provided,
to
I
you.
provided an explanation
Oh,
for
my
clarity and transparency.
That's because he doesn't think you're from here either. I've seen his memos.
Anyways,
But that, with the,
His true skill shows.
no. The homegrown talents, but at the same time, look at Baron Corbin. Was never an indie wrestler. Braun Strowman, never an indie wrestler. It's the ones that were like Tyler Breeze, who was on the indies, who is now just finally starting to get some momentum with a new character overhaul.
So have them come and evaluate your fashion.
The Ascension, indie guys, got nowhere. The Vaudevillains got nowhere. I mean, there's so many that have been brought up from NXT. It's the ones that weren't wrestlers in the past, like a Charlotte. Sasha Banks and Nia Jax wanted to be wrestlers, but it just shows how hard it is when there's a 90-some% failure rate in this business. It's hit or miss with a lot of these young kids.
You know, it's easy to blame or to credit NXT for the success or failure of any talents that come up to the main roster from that company, but I think what you have to look at is prior to NXT, the success and failure rate of new talents in the company. And without a system of creating the stars and the talents as they have in NXT over the last few years, we wouldn't be flush with the talent that we have now, because where would they be coming from? And, you know, WWE has done a very good job in expanding their reach, if you will. And, you know, I found out on JR's podcast this week that William Regal actually is in Japan evaluating over 100 different talents right now in the hopes of bringing more talents into NXT.
Where's Mojo Rawley?
He's been doing interviews about why he hasn't been on TV.
Why is that?
Well, you have to check out the interview. I haven't yet.
It's just crazy. I mean, he's getting that huge monster push. He wins the Under the Giant Battle Royal, getting some big wins on SmackDown, and poof, like the Great Kazoo, he's gone.
Does he fit, or is he being purposely kept from us for something bigger soon?
Well, no, he should have been put in the Money in the Bank match.
Maybe he does end up there. Owens was reluctantly put in, so maybe he loses his spot at some point, and Mojo
I doubt
takes
that.
it.
They need Owens in that match.
He's U.S. champion.
Yes, he is. And?
He's already got a Money in the Bank title shot.
No, he doesn't.
Well, he's a U.S. champion. He's next in line.
But Rusev was U.S. champion. He never got a title match. There's no guarantee. See, you need to start thinking things through more often.
Rather. Folks, we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, it's more of your comments. And I think, Linda, do you have an update on the PWR Fantasy Draft as well from this past Sunday's Backlash?
Got that
Can't
update
wait
coming
to hear
up.
that.
Oh, I can't either.
When we come back here on the Pro Wrestling Report Feedback Friday. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Feedback Friday, episode number 82 here on Memorial Day weekend. Linda, do you have any big cookouts planned for this Memorial Day weekend where we honor our troops and those who have served?
Absolutely. We've got some great friends coming to town. We're going to try to get on the boat, grill out.
See?
On the Milwaukee River. And then partake in some parades on Monday on actual Memorial Day.
I knew it. Is it the family boat? Was it like a door?
I think you're talking about like a dinner cruise, a party boat,
Pontoon
which is
boat
very,
on the
very
river.
popular here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
You know what? Cover it up however you guys want. It's fine. I know better.
What are you doing for Memorial Day? Don't give a damn. Let's get now, Linda, to our... Actually, let's talk about the draft. I understand you have the results of last weekend's Backlash points from the PWR Fantasy Draft before we talk about the Fantasy Draft.
Let's definitely hear this.
Here in just a moment.
After Backlash...
Did you carry the 4 and plus the 2 this time?
After Backlash, the Nelson family came out with 350 points.
I'm up to 350?
Mm-hmm. And the Super Friends...
By the way, before the show, I did replace Braun Strowman with the Usos prior to Backlash on Sunday.
There is no way you did that.
I absolutely did.
I didn't get a memo. I did not get a tweet. I didn't get anything.
You are not in charge of a damn thing. So I did not have to tell you a damn thing.
Here is the screw job coming along.
I picked the Usos. What does it say right there, Linda, on my roster?
Usos.
And it's in all caps. Why? Because it replaced Braun Strowman until Braun Strowman's back from injury, because within the rules of the draft, you can replace an injured star with a sitting star, and you must do so prior to the start of the next point-generating event. I did all of that.
How did they get 120 points in one match?
That's the cumulative points of the people who have resided in that slot. So any points that I had acquired for Braun would carry over to whoever's in that spot and replacing a spot.
I don't trust you. You're shady.
Say the same for you.
I'm also slim.
I'm far from shady. I'm very transparent about everything that I do. I have receipts for everything.
So, Nelson family came out with 350 points.
That's a good number.
Yeah, and the superheroes came out with...
the Super Friends.
Oh, sorry, Super Friends, sorry.
Did you see that?
It's actually the Mighty Mouse Club.
Did you see that Super Friends shirt all over the pay-per-view on Sunday? I did. So I was wearing it.
That was the one that I saw.
Because you get 50 of them made and you drop them off at Goodwill.
No, I
And then they sell them for $1, and randomly, I mean, they end up at wrestling events.
First of all, they're not going to Goodwill.
Salvation Army.
Maybe that one, but never Goodwill. They're clean. They're brand new. Yeah, please.
Super Friends.
Yes. Hit it.
After Backlash, obtained 485
What?
That is fantastic. Led by Jinder Mahal, the new world heavyweight champion of SmackDown. Yeah. Read it and weep. And I still haven't had Dean Ambrose or Apollo Crews yet. Apollo Crews. Do anything. What? Yeah.
Right.
I'm
Extreme Rules in 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
New Day came back on Tuesday. I'm going to start getting points from them.
I'm impressed with your math skills.
I got Miz points. I got Balor points. I got Hardy's points. I got all kinds of points coming in the next 3 weeks.
So do I. I got Reigns and Rollins.
And nobody cares.
And Ambrose.
Linda, what about the fan draft? I understand you have an updated number of rosters that we have participants participating in the draft.
It has grown. We're up to 50 teams.
50? 5-0?
50. And we'll
Who's keeping
have
track of all
our
that?
first leaderboard on next week's episode of Feedback Friday with the results from Backlash for your fantasy draft as well.
Lots of points to tally. Wow. Interesting. 50 teams. We should have charged for this.
Huh.
Next year.
Linda usually
Well, some of the
charges.
money
That's what's weird
got
about
taken off. You know, we might need to get some money back because
We don't have any working capital anymore.
Oh, the capital worked for me just fine.
Shall we get into our first?
Let's please, Linda.
Kind
I
of from break.
literally have a headache right now. Literally. I had one yesterday after prime time because I was spun around so much, and now it's back today. I can't. Where's Meathead? Maybe he can join us for Feedback Friday. Can you make that? Can you make a call, Linda?
You can't use my phone.
Some
Please.
Willie guy, supposedly.
Yeah, I know
You gotta
Willie
call
likes
Meathead.
cats also. I mean, Alf likes cats also, but you're not using my phone.
You were saying, Linda?
All right, our next comment comes from Jay True, who says, Hero. Hero said, we've seen
Again, my show.
Brock versus Reigns before. He's right, but we've only seen it once, 2 years ago.
Tell him the truth, Jay.
Reigns is the only credible opponent for Brock because
that.
if you haven't noticed, they've been building up Reigns' strength by Strowman beating him almost to death, just to have Reigns come back and still take Strowman out, thus making Reigns the only believable character
Did I write
that
this?
can take a beating from Brock and come back from it the same match and beat Brock for the Universal title in a one-on-one. No shenanigans finish that we never got to see. If the WWE can pull this off at SummerSlam, this can give Raw a very good rest of the season because now you have an open roster of superstars that can beat the champ at any given time.
Well written.
No, it's not. The last sentence throws it all off. Because now you're saying if Roman Reigns beats him, now anyone can beat Roman Reigns who just beat the Beast. Roman Reigns should then have a whole bunch of steam going forward.
Well, at some point, does Brock Lesnar need to be knocked down a notch?
Of course he
For that
does.
reason?
Absolutely.
Because he
But not to get a weaker champion. Whoever beats Brock Lesnar then becomes a stronger champion going forward. It means more.
But can you beat Brock Lesnar without Brock Lesnar being beat?
Yes.
Is
But-
that the way to go?
Well, Brock Lesnar has lost all the matches he's lost since his return have been in gimmick matches. No holds barred matches, last man standing matches to Triple H and John Cena, and Undertaker in the Hell in a Cell. So that's the match that they have to get Lesnar in, is a gimmick match like that for him to lose. Because Brock Lesnar is not going to lay down for a 3 count.
Well, in the right circumstance, for the right paycheck, he would. Brock's a businessman.
Yeah, but it's not going to be to a Finn Balor.
I think this is all talking about Roman Reigns. No one
Right.
said anything about Finn Balor except you, who's fixated on that fact.
You don't think that they would ever have Lesnar just lose to Reigns clean? Or you're saying
He could.
anybody else?
It'll be after 2. It'll have to be like 3 or 4 spears he can beat him, not after 1. It has to be a train wreck of a finish.
How much longer is Brock Lesnar going to be working with WWE, in your opinion?
I think he goes through next year's WrestleMania.
Because he's been there 4 years now. Has it been 4? It came in 2012. He's been there nearly 5 years now.
What they are proving, and here's what the fans don't understand, is that the brand WWE means more than the championship. Because if the championship was that important, it would be on TV every week, and it's not. So it just goes to show that these guys don't need the championship belt to be elevated.
Well, is that truly the case, though? Because they've elevated the Intercontinental United States Championships
Finally.
as the main championships on those brands, which is a benefit versus, it's not a bad thing. But they do still need something to aspire to.
Right, but I'm just saying they don't need it on every week or every month.
Okay.
Lesnar's a special attraction. He
He
sells
is,
tickets.
just like me.
And you can't have him on Raw every week. Who's he going to beat up every
He'd
week?
get old. He'd be stale.
He would be.
Everybody else who we have deemed as old and stale.
You can only beat up Rhino and Heath Slater every week for so long. Seriously. I wouldn't mind seeing Rhino and Brock Lesnar. I think it could be good.
Yeah.
You talk about your buddy Goldust returning to
Yeah,
the director's
how
chair
about
this past
that?
week. I'm loving it.
Thank
Ba, ba, ba,
God.
ba.
Yes. You know what? He's fantastic. He's great. He's got another good run coming in. I think Goldust and The Miz could battle for the IC title because Goldust is a former IC champion. But it's good to see him get his heat back and not just be the comedy character.
After turning
I'm
on our
looking forward
truth
to it.
last week.
Yes.
All right, Linda, I think we got one more here, huh?
All right, one last comment. This week comes from Megarod472, who says, even though I'm not a Miz fan, He has
How dare you?
He has come a long way and is a success story. I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes the WWE Universal or WWE Champion in the near future. Teaming him up with his wife was gold. That's what he needed from the beginning. Not unless he does something wrong. He's got a job in the WWE for a long time.
Yeah, that's another point about Miz. We talked extensively about him last week on our programming. As you know, he was the very first endorsed talent in 2011, and you see where that got him to the championship and to where he is now. However, Miz, I could be wrong. No long-term injuries in the time he's been with the company. Nothing shenanigan-wise, drugs, suspensions, drama, none of that. Definition of a company guy is Miz.
Absolutely. He's been fantastic. He's much like the guys from the 80s that were there forever, like a Pedro Morales.
Yeah.
You know, someone like that will have a long career and will wind up as a backstage agent one day.
Wow. You want Miz producing tomorrow's talent?
He knows how to get heat. Why not?
That's a good point. I'm not just, you're for Miz one moment, you're against Miz the next moment.
No, there's certain qualities I like, certain qualities I don't like.
What don't you like about the Miz?
He's not tough.
Jealous of his hot wife?
No.
You wouldn't?
I'm not into blondes. No.
Or is it that comment you made about a couple of weeks ago?
I make a lot of comments.
You do. All right, super. Well, thank you. Thank you for those comments. Some good comments this week, Linda, and some good interactions as well on our social media channels, PWR Show on Twitter, Facebook.com/PWR Show, and also on Instagram, PWR Show on Insta. Is that what they call it nowadays?
Yeah. Yep.
Do you snap,
IG.
Linda?
Yes, I do.
How did they find you on the snap?
On the snap, it is Linda K. PWR.
Oh, that's your, your name everywhere, except Twitter.
Twitter, Linda K. 22.
What's the significance of the 22?
Favorite number?
Really? What's your favorite number? 13? 0?
No.
Probably 0.
666.
0.
Yeah. 666. Absolutely.
That's this week's Feedback Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Linda, for being the hostess with the mostest. And thank you, Dave, for...
I'm the voice of reason on this show.
What you did, actually.
I bring balance to the Force. I'm the last real Jedi.
Did you apply for Bob Beckel's job yet?
Who?
The guy from Fox who got fired again?
No, I can't work for them.
Why not?
I just can't.
Why not?
Because I'm all about the truth, and I like being fair and balanced, but sometimes you just got to be honest. I can't work for
Fox
CNN.
News is a dishonest
they're all dishonest. I get my news from Twitter. That's where everything
sure,
makes
that's
sense.
great. That's much, much better.
It is.
News that
I learned a
suits
lot
your
about
pre-existing
tilapia
narratives
on social media.
Absolutely great. You're that guy. Thank you, guys, for tuning in, and gals, to what is this, Feedback Friday.
Yeah,
and we'll see you
Do not touch
again
him. He's mine.
next week here on the programming of PWR.